one of the most least compelling stories I've heard is, veterans that transition use the GI Bill simply to get that next paycheck, the monthly allowance, which is definitely intended for, things outside of you just getting a paycheck, I guess. One of the more compelling reasons are those veterans that transition because they've thought about what they want to pursue, exactly how an education would benefit their kind of career prospects or their career pursuits. And that doesn't mean you necessarily need to have everything figured out to a T or anything like that, but to have a general idea, to know what interests you, to know how an education may, benefit your search for a career or what have you. I think those are some of the better compelling reasons I've heard. I think one of the most important things for veterans to consider when applying to college is exactly how an education will benefit their long-term prospects, right? So I think the most important thing for veterans to consider is kind of what exactly do they want to pursue, what kind of career fields interest them, and how would an education ultimately benefit that pursuit for those types of jobs, right? So it doesn't necessarily mean, again, that you need to have everything figured out. You need to know exactly what you want to do. I changed my major twice in college. And so but it does mean that you should have a general idea. That way you can make the most of your education, because if you don't really know exactly what road you want to travel down, it could make experiencing or navigating the sort of the college, the university life difficult if you don't have a goal. Especially as veterans, we're very goal oriented, I would presume. I know I am, at least. So not having a direct vision can cause some clutter in the background. So I think before you transition or as you transition, one of the most important things to consider is what exactly do you want to do in the future? What interests you? How will the education benefit those prospects?
Can you do it? Are you dedicated to doing it? Because it's work. It's not you're just going to pick up a textbook and flip through it. It's papers, it's time. Are you able to do it with your family? And maybe do a cost-benefit analysis, not just in terms of money, but in terms of how it'll affect your life. Will it enrich your life? If you just come to college just to get the paper and you don't know what you're going to do with the degree, maybe it's not really cost effective as far as like family and all the rest of that, but maybe it is. Everybody has to sit down and figure out what their individual path is going to be, but it has to be an informed decision.
For me, I was injured and I had a plan to go back to doing overseas contracting once I was healed, but I needed something to do in the interim, something to kind of pay the bills. And since I was hurt, I really couldn't do too much, so I decided to use my GI Bill benefits and go to school. I would definitely do it again, especially knowing what I know now. At the time I did it, I didn't really realize what benefits were available, and once I got enrolled into the program, I started to realize how much there was available to us as veterans. So I kept with it.